Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the international webinar event, Artificial Intelligence and Ethnic, a Global Perspective. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Paulina Kinanti, and I will host you for today's event. Now, let me welcome our special guest for today. Welcome to the Honorable Dr. Joseph Teguh Santoso as a Rector of STEKOM University, to the Honorable Nidhishvaran as a cybersecurity analyst intern Hebesec, India and Malaysia, to the Honorable Laksamana Rajendra Haidar Azani Fajri, M.Kom as a lecturer of Information System Department, STEKOM University, Indonesia, and to the Honorable Dr. S. Sumathi as a professor, Department of Information Technology, St.Joseph College of Engineering, India. And the last but not least, to the honorable guests and audience today. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes here. Today's session is being live streamed on Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel, and for today's event, we will start with the Indonesian national anthem and continue to the next session. We will begin with the main event presentation by our special guest for today, and then continue with the Q&A session and take a picture for documentation and the last time for closing. We will sing our national anthem. For the operator today, you can start this session if you want to. Thank you. All right, thank you. And now we will go to the main event. Let me note for all audience, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat. We will able to answer some of the during the Q&A session after the presentation. Today is presentation. We'll have about 30 minutes for the presentation. All right, now let's please welcome our first presenter, Nidhishvaran, a cybersecurity analyst intern, Hebesec, India and Malaysia. For Nidhishvaran, this time is yours. Thank you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you. You can start
Okay.
your presentation now.
So, myself, I'm Nidhishvaran from Hebesec Technology, serving as a cybersecurity analyst intern. For the next few minutes, we are going to discuss about AI and its ethics, a global concerns, and this is our topic today. So I'll share my screen. So this is that. For the next few minutes, we are going to discuss about AI and ethics, a global perspective, and this is the topic. And let me deeply dive into it. So the first thing, it's an agenda. So first I'll discuss about the interaction and then it will be the importance of AI and ethics. And after that we'll discuss about the dilemmas caused by AI, such as the ATS system and the bias and fairness issues. And the next thing, AI's accountability and its transparency, such as the responsibility needed to be taken by the AI. And the next thing is AI's regulation, a global approaches. And the sixth thing, AI and human rights, the future of AI and ethical guidelines. And next, we'll discuss about the recent developments in AI, such as from the birth of AI to the today's technology. Then I'll end up with the conclusion part. So the first thing is introduction. We all know that in our day-to-day life, we are fully solely depends upon AI. So the AI and program are also similar, but the only difference that a program won't learn from us, but the AI does. The AI will learn from us and it will be trained. And these are all the things about the AI. So the next thing, importance of AI and ethics. When we say AI, we know that there are a lot of ethics needed to be followed by AI. And we are the data providers. If we feed our data to the AI, and it should be securely stored and used wisely without any concerns. So when we think like that, we should need to be ensure about the importance of AI and ethics. The security and responsibility should be needed to be taken by the AI. And the next thing, the safety, how our data will be processed and stored. And the last thing is bias and fairness. This is how. And this is purely inherited from the developers and the engineers of AI. And let's say if the engineer or the designer have bias towards they have a hate towards female employers, then the ATS will only filter male employees for the final session. And these are all the concerns needed to be think. And these are all the things. AI ethics are the set of guiding principles that stakeholders from engineers. So the AI ethics is not only the thing that AI should need to follow this. So the each and every person involved in the role of creating an AI should be responsible for this one. So after that, we'll have some kind of dilemmas. Yeah, we have discussed that AI can inherit human bias, leading to unfair outcomes, right? Let's assume that the trainer of the AI have a big hate towards a female employees. So what will happen? This will lead to some kind of unfair decisions. And then we have AI injustice. Some countries like China, US, and UK are using AIs for their final decisions, and it will end up in some kind of serious things, such as relying solely on AI without a human interference. And next, we have ATS. We all know that ATS system might reject a perfectly qualified candidates because the resume doesn't contains the required formats or it is missing the required keywords. And these are all the ethical dilemmas needed to be concerned while thinking of AI. And the next thing is AI's domination. So we are all solely depends upon AI without thinking for a while. Let's think about it. Before the emergence of AI, we used to do our day-to-day life tasks such as content creation without it. But nowadays, we are all solely depends upon it without a second chance and without thinking for a while. We are just prompting for it, like that I need a post, just give me because we know that nowadays the SEO plays a major role when we are posting. So we are depends upon that. And then the pie chart breakdown below will demonstrate about the AI's domination, such as in health and finance. In some countries, they are using for healthcare and finance, and commerce and navigation, And then the lifestyle entertainment, such as prompting it for a LinkedIn post or Instagram post. And the next thing, it is communication and productivity. The first thing, if I, let's say if I need to start my presentation and I have prompted to it, how can I start my presentation? And that's the thing. And the next thing is the AI's accountability and transparency. We know that the AI should be accountable for the mistakes made by it, and it needs the transparency. We have two types of AI here. One is the black box and the other one is white box one. And in the black box AI only produce the result without being showing what's happening in the background, such as the algorithms used by the AI, and it will only produce the output, but it will be against the regulation of some kind of regulation such as GDPR, which is one of the famous regulation of Europe Union. And this is the thing. So we have discussed that AI must be accountable for the mistakes committed by it, but who are going to be responsible for the mistake made by AI? The people, the people who are all involved in the development cycle of the AI must be accountable for that, and they should need to be accountable if AI won't use our data properly, and they should be accountable, and that's the thing. And it involves each and every persons, including data providers, and we are all the data providers, and then the organizations which is developing the AI, then the AI engineers who are all going to develop it, and the AI developers who are going to design it. The next thing, there are a lot of mistakes committed by AI, but now we are going to discuss about some of the common mistakes committed by AI. The first thing is poor data handling, such as handling the data without any proper storage system, but they are only using it to handle it uh, without a proper encryption standards or something else, and lack of pen testing. I have an irony for this one. It's similar to that. Building a luxury hotel without a proper base of securities around it, such as let's say I'm going to build a luxury apartment, and I'm going to think for a while for its security measures, such as its walls and some kind of security measures. So that's where the pen testing came into play. And then the lack of explainability. If the AI is a black box one, then we will have the concern that and how it's going to be work and how the results will be produced. And in this kind of situations, the GDPR, which is the famous law of Europe Union, doesn't let us the AI to function in its region without the proper pace of presentation and explainability. And then the inadequate documentation and version control, which including some kind of new features to the AI and without maintaining it, without properly documenting it, and without properly documenting the basis and some kind of things involved in this one. And the next thing, AI's regulation as a global approach. We are going to discuss about three countries' AI's regulations in this side. The first thing is the United States one. In the US, the story of AI regulation is still being written. It's like that US always allows the AIs to function without properly investigating it, like Europe Union. When compared to some other countries, United States security regulations are still being poor in AI's recognition. Then the European Union, which has been following a strict regulation among the AIs. In the European Union, the story of AI regulation is more defined. The region is taking a cautious, structured and approaches. It means it won't allow the company to function or the organization to function there if they won't produce a proper sort of algorithms and the set of procedures used by the AI while producing the output. And the next thing is China. In China, AI is deeply integrated into government system, which is one of the major concern when it's come to AI's prompt injection or something else. And the next thing, China has been using the AI since its emergence on the social credit system, which is used to assign a trust score for a person. This scores came into play when they need to ask for some loans or something else, which is a major concern, right? It will be its impact will be significant if it is not executed with the proper pace. And the next thing, AI and human rights. We know that AIs are dominating each and every field, including healthcare, education, and justice. However, without proper safeguards, it can also threaten privacy, freedom of expression, equality, and due process. And the first thing, massive surveillance infringing on right to privacy and algorithmic bias leading to discrimination. Yeah, this bias and fairness. We have already discussed this in the bias and fairness, which was in the ethical dilemmas section. The next thing is the lack of transparency. Yeah, those kinds of black box AIs are always threatened to us, and it will be a great threat if it is executed without any proper base of explainability, such as they won't explain us the algorithm or some other things that has been happening in the background, but they'll only shows us the result. It will end up in some serious concerns uh, when it is resulted in some kind of problems, such as only it will only produce the output, but they won't explain us how it's going to be. Then the automated decision making, such as at first we have discussed about the AI injustice, right? And at that kind of basis, it won't be a fair decision if there is no human involved in those kind of decision flows, and AIs are on the one and only authorities and responsible for decision making. Then it will be a very serious concern. We have to be think of it. We need to think of it. And the future of AI and ethical guidelines. We all know that the AIs will have dominated the world by 2030, and what will happen after that? It's clear that we need new laws are needed. Yeah, that's what I mentioned here. And the next thing, there are a lot of reasons for the new laws, but I'll list some kind of laws, some kind of reasons that requires a new laws. Accountability and liability. We have been discussing this topic too much in this session. First, AI should be accountable. If a mistake committed by AI, then it should be accountable, right? So in this place, we need new laws, which includes each and every person involved in the training, involved in from the creating of AI until deploying it in a machine. Then the privacy protection, such as data are being fed to AI. So in latest we have Ghibli trend, which led us to feed our data for us. And that's not the topic that now we are going to discuss about. The privacy protection. We are all we are just clicking and prompting and giving our sensitive information without thinking for a while. While ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and some other AI's organization are clearly mentioned in their guidelines that each and every things and each and every prompt should be we should avoid some kind of sensitive informations in it, such as our age, our CVV numbers, and our PIN code, and etc. And these are all the consents needed to be, and these are all the things we should follow. And the next thing, security and ethical use. And there are a lot of things needed to be considered. If I ask for some kind of malicious activity for an AI, such as, let's say I ask for an Python script which will hack someone's mobile phone or penetrate into something. At the first time, the AI will refuse to give it to me. So what can I do if I ask like that? I'm an ethical hacking student and I need the script for my educational purpose. And these are all from our sides. AIs won't be accountable for these kinds of problems or impacts caused by us, because we are all full. We are only responsible for these kinds of things. If I ask like that, it's a type of prompt injection. If I ask anything and append that I'm asking for my educational purpose, it will accept that one and it will give me a source code, which will be the malicious one. And the next thing, yeah, now we are going to discuss about the recent developments in AI since the birth of AI. The first thing, in 1950, the AI was born, and then in 1956, the term AI is coined, and the next thing happened in 2018. Tesla introduced its autopilot mode in its cars such as Cybertrucks, and then in 2019, OpenAI released ChatGPT 2, which played a major role in the development of AI, and this was the most important incident that happened in AI's history. And the next thing, in 2021, GitHub launches Copilot, which is also similar to ChatGPT and DeepSeek. And the next thing, now we are in the era of AI. Now we are all fully dominated by that one, and we don't have any other choices than other than using AIs for each and every tasks. And the next thing, we are yeah, finally we have approached our conclusion part. The first point, AIs are like fire, powerful and transformative, but dangerous if misused. It will be better if it is used wisely. And the last thing is the most important point. We won't always be depends upon the AI, and that will end up as here. We started ChatGPT for some sort of things, and but now we are using ChatGPT for our day-to-day tasks, right? And this is where it will be ends up. And the last, thank you. If there are any questions, you are kindly allowed to ask me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nidhishvaran, about the presentation. It's so interesting when we talk about AI and then how the global give the perspective. So there's some question for you. First, it is from the live chat on YouTube from Titi Hendrawati. The question is, how can we ensure that the development and implementation of AI align with technical standards globally, considering the diverse cultural values and societal impact across different regions? I
Yeah.
will put on the chat.
Well, but it's only depends upon the engineer or the data feeders who will feed data for the AI based on that. It will fully depends upon the engineer or the trainer who trains the AI. It will leads to some kind of ethical dilemmas such as bias and unfair decision when it comes to some kind of AI superpower without being involving at least a human in it. That's why the countries such as China, US, and UK has a human decision at the final one. Even after AI think and give us a solution or some matches with some laws, and but at the final stage, there will be a person, there will be a justice who will give us the laws like that. And but the final decision will be taken by the human being. Then only will be it will be safer in the future.
All right. Okay. I will continue to the next question. This is from Reva. May I ask which large language models like ChatGPT being trained mostly on English data? How do we address the technical issue of language bias and cultural underrepresentation, especially for communities in global south?
Yeah, well, but the ChatGPT and some other AIs were not being only trained by using English as a primary language, but they use some other kind of languages to train it to. Like, let's say if I ask in my native language, even it will answer me. It's like they are still in the training process. Even if I ask a question and the answer will be more interesting, the AI will learn from me, and that's the thing. And that's what we are all also known as the data providers. And if we provide data, and we are also training the AI even without knowing us that we are doing that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nadiswaran, about your answer. Hopefully, Reva and Titi can get more uh, answer about your can answer about their question. Okay, we'll continue to the next speaker. This is the second speaker to the Mr. Laksamana Rajendra Haidar Azani Fajri, M.Kom, as a lecturer of Information System Department from STEKOM University, Indonesia. So, Mr. Laksamana, this time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kinan. Okay, I want to share my screen. Okay. Okay, is my presentation can be seen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kinan. Okay, I want to explain my presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good. Let me introduce myself. My name is Laksamana Rajendra Haidar Azani Fajri, and I am from Indonesia as a lecturer of STEKOM University in Information System Department. Okay, today I want to explain about global perspective on ethical AI development. Okay, before we start the explanation, I want to define AI and ethical concern. Okay, before the previous explanation that he explained about AI and ethical, and then what is AI? AI is a system performing tasks that usually require human intelligence. This is what AI is bring useful for humanity. And there is ethical issue. Why we concern about ethical issue? Because ethical issue is very important to bias algorithm and transparency challenge. Because an ethical issue is a job displacement virtue. And then what does AI bias come from? AI bias usually start at the data level, and then it can learn patterns from the data they are trained on. So if the data reflect historical inequality or social prejudices, the system will pick up on those patterns too. For example, if higher algorithm trained on a past employment data that favors certain demographic, it might learn a prefer applicant from the same group. Bias can also come from the data collected, label, or maybe is assumptive from algorithm itself. So this is of example of bias, facial recognition error, and unfair loan approval. Okay, and then there are defining AI techniques. Okay, defining AI techniques is it's very applied ethics, examine moral issues arising in technology and application. And then let's begin. For AI prefers to system or machine that mimic human intelligence to perform tasks can be performed themselves based on information they collect. You likely interact with AI already to voice assistant like Siri, or maybe voice recognition, and even AI-powered customer. And AI here is growing so fast. And then why ethics matters in AI, and then the power AI is also bring significant. So it is concerned that when a system is make decision that affect people's lives, and then where it approving alone, predicting criminal behavior or diagnosing disease, or it's just technical tools. And then AI technique, it's about making sure that AI is responsible, but it involves key principles like fairness, avoiding discrimination, transparency, understanding how decisions are made, and privacy, protecting personal data. And then it's very important to define AI technique. And then there is AI bias. AI bias is usually start at the data level, and bias is only data issue. It can come from the people building the AI. Lack of diversity in AI development teams can lead to blind spot. And then data bias, it can contain historic prejudgment, or algorithmic bias by design flaw can apply inequality, or maybe real world impact. They are bias hierarchical or discriminatory pricing model, and there are complex algorithm in bias study. And the impact of AI bias can be serious and far-reaching in healthcare. Bias AI system have been shown to underdiagnose disease in certain population, such as are in criminal justice. Predictive policy tools have discriminatory targeted minority communities. And in finance, it can be scoring algorithm can deny loan to qualify applicant based on race or zip code. So we can fighting AI bias require action or multiple level, diverse in inclusive data set, or maybe transparency in algorithm design and human oversight. Okay, and then there is a global AI development landscape. Okay, artificial intelligence is no longer transformation across sector or border. From the development AI, the global AI is diverse and rapid evolving. and each region contribute different shapes, unique economic, political, and culture, such as in America, China, or maybe Japan. They have created the AI because US, AI, and EU dominate AI investment in research. And then there are example for regulatory variation, such as GDPR in Europe contracts with China AI ethics guideline. And then there is market growth in global AI will hit $190 billion at 2025. And then China has taken strategic top-down approach in AI development with strong government backing and significant investment. And then there's also Canada. Canada is a position that is a global leader in AI research and responsible development. That with cities like Toronto and Montreal emerging its AI hub. And then Canada is emphasizing AI ethical such inclusivity. This is one of first country to launch national in AI strategy. And then there is a cultural context and ethical consideration. Okay, cultural context and intelligence is are not fits all. They are deeply influenced by cultural values, tradition, and then societal norms. And then there is many other different cultures. So AI system can be more global and understand the role of cultural context in essential to ensure that ethical frameworks are truly inclusive and effective. And then there are different cultures in Western cultures. They can create such a different how people view AI roles in society and what they expect to be regulation from themselves. And then the cultural differences is also can make safety for our culture in their trust and value placed in collective security over personal privacy. And then there is a privacy norm that data handling can be wealthy per our region. And then it's also avoiding imperialism that respecting cultural diversity in AI adoption. And there is many conference and ethical that closely tied to access equity and development needs. For example, using AI development to improve access to education or healthcare may be priorities over concern about data ownership. However, this region is also unique risk, such as being data source or development system can be no security or without reserving the benefit. So we have to preventing by using AI. And then there is AI and human rights. Okay, AI and human rights, it means that it also intersects more directly with fundamental human rights, from the rights to privacy to freedom of expression and protection from discrimination. AI technology can put support and threaten human rights depending how they are developed and used. This makes it essential to analyze AI through human lens. And then AI often rely on massive amount of personal data to function effectively. And then whether it's facial recognition software, voice assistant, or predictive algorithm, this technology collect and process sensitive information. And then without safeguard, this can be lead to serious violation of the right to privacy, particularly when the individual are unaware how their data is used or when government use AI for mass surveillance. And then this can be unintentionally reinforce existing social inequalities when it builds to biased data or flaw assumption. And then so AI we can be careful of using AI and privacy concern. And then there is a role of international cooperation. The role of cooperation means global AI is which means we can use this meeting AI developments often move faster than regulation. And then global of international harmonizing AI techniques with other people from other countries. And then we can research together from other technology in other region. So we can handshake with other research and make benefit at using AI. And then there is a UNESCO guideline, and it means that UNESCO can make a guideline that which means ethic recommendation is shaping policies. This means that we need to make policies to make a guideline to make a guide of AI and then role of international cooperation. Okay, and then there is a key principle of AI techniques. This means that we can discrimination prevention to avoid unfair bias outcome in AI decision making. And then there is a bias origin. There is bias arise from skill data or flaws algorithm design. And then there is a case example such as a compass algorithm showing racial disparities in sentencing risk and mitigation. And then we can use diverse data, bias detection tool, and through audits. And then we can show that AI can be work as principle because there is a fairness, transparency, and then accountable. There are many key principles in the AI technique. Okay. Okay, there is a key principle in AI ethics, and then is transparency. Transparency is very useful because transparency is understandable AI reveals how AI models decision can be made on user trust. Because if you want to transparency, the core principle is understandable and explanation to user or maybe stakeholders or regulator. AI system make increase important decision in section like healthcare, finance, or maybe criminal justice. It become a system transparency that can be operate with well. And then transparency build trust, encourage accountability, and enable user to make informed decision about how they interact with the AI technology. So it means that transparency is more important and involves both process and outcome of AI system. If we want, it means that AI system can arrive at specific decision or maybe challenge to a question to decision if necessary. Transparency is also involves disclosing the limitation and potential bias of AI system to prevent over-reliance on its recommendation. And then three, there are green principle in AI techniques is accountability. Okay, accountability is crucial, the principle in AI technique. It's ensuring that the individual and organization are responsible for decisions are made by AI system. As AI technology become more pervasive and powerful holding development, without accountability, there are risks that harmful or unethical AI action could go unaddressed, leading to negative consequence for individual and society. And in context AI, accountability refers to obligation of those who design, deploy, or maybe it answer to their action and decision. This include being responsible for ethical implementation of AI decision, as well as for addressing any harm caused by system malfunction or misuse. Accountability involves both legal responsibility and ethical responsibility that AI systems are used in a good way that align with social value and norm. So example like liability challenge and autonomous vehicle accident. And then there is a key principle for AI technique is a privacy. Okay, privacy is a cornerstone principle in AI ethics, ensure that individual personal information is protected and AI system respect privacy right. As AI technology become more integrated with our lives, they often rely on vast amount of personal data for data training or decision making. And it context protecting privacy, not only legal obligation, but also ethical and safeguard individual autonomy and freedom. This also AI can be data function effectively, that such as user behavior and then health data or maybe financial information, because its privacy is very important. However, the collection and information of sensitive data can be raise significant ethical concern. Without strong privacy protection, individual may be vulnerable and authorized stage level, and it makes preventing misuse and protecting them from potential harm. And then there is a technique that differentiate privacy and federated learning limit data exposure. And then there is a key challenge in AI ethics. There is a dual use. Dual use is mean there is a rapidly evolving that phase after complex that challenge AI technology continue to develop and proliferate and hold potential benefit society. It also presents that ethical dilemmas. This challenge is critical to ensuring that AI systems are deployed and responsibility that what there's benefit and realize while minimum harm. And then there is a minim information. Mean information is meaning data. One of key is AI system should not collect the minimum amount of personal data necessary. And then it can be used transparency, or maybe it use AI in a good ways. And then there is a weapon, ethical and safety risk in autonomous combat system. We cannot use AI in make a weapon that make harmful on the humanity, or it makes a war. It's very forbidden. And then there is a job impact. Job impact is automation threaten that many traditional job and livelihood. Okay, and then there is a real world example. Okay, there is a criminal justice. We have to maintain that predictive policies and then may reinforce historical bias given a good intent. Because if a policing predictive, we can make the criminal justice can make more have many criminal. And then there is sentencing AI. It means that fairness and transparency remains critical concern. And then we have fairness and transparency. And then there is facial recognition. It means that privacy risks are potentially misused, demand oversight. And then there is oversight, accountability mechanism are essential in AI-driven injustice. Okay. And then there is a future of AI ethics. Okay. There are future AI ethics. Future of one is cross-discipline. Okay, future of collaboration among AI, ethics, and laws. We can make new law with AI because many countries have many developed their new law because there's a many experience from many other countries then make a new law, and then it make our region, our nation to be have a good law with AI. And then there is a human benefit. It's ensuring AI that advance human while managing risk. Okay, we can use AI. It ensuring AI don't make AI. It's make for criminal or make a bad news. Okay, and then there is a public engagement. There is a education society for informed AI use and debate. We can compare other AI with there are many AI that have different knowledge, and it make us to have a different view too. And they help us many kind of knowledge and help us to become more important, and then to make us to be more useful to other people. Okay, and there is case studies in ethical dilemmas in AI. There are automatic vehicles who is liable in accident. Okay, we don't know because accident is very risky for how we use in AI. And then how is the responsible for if there is accident? If AI is responsible, no, they help us to make to be become more important person. And then healthcare AI, bias in diagnosis patient care. Okay, healthcare AI is very sensitive and in bias because diagnosis is very accurate if we have a diagnosis the right. And then there is a criminal justice. It predictive policing raises fairness and concern. And then there is predictive policing. We can catch the criminal, or maybe we can make the criminal reduce. How to make we can catch the criminal also. And then there is a strategy for ethical AI development. One is diverse team. It means that we can mitigate bias through inclusive development group. And then there is transparency. Transparency means it can be explainable. AI build user trust. And then there is accountability. It means that a clear frameworks ensure responsible AI use. Now, three strategies, it means that we can make ethical AI development. We can use make AI in good ways. And then for conclusion, and then the last of my presentation is shaping responsible for AI. For this generation, I hope we can responsible from shaping AI to be the good ways, because ethical priority is very important for in next generation. And it also for global cooperation. It's AI can become cooperate internationally for effectivity governance. We can make cooperation with other region or maybe our nation to make good ways or more benefit to both of nation. And then the last is inclusive benefit, that it ensure AI advantage reach all humanity. Okay. Thank you for my presentation. I hope my presentation will be useful. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Mr. Rajendra. And we will go to the last speaker for Dr. Sumathi from St.Joseph College of Engineering, India. Yeah, for Dr. Sumathi, you still with us? I think she have a technical issue. If possible, might I continue with the Q&A session for Mr. Rajendra?
Okay.
Yeah, just a moment. We have 3 questions here.
Okay.
From participant in the YouTube chat. Yeah, for first question from Mr. Abdul. I'm also already read in the subject. How do cultural value and norm across different regions shape ethical framework for AI development and deployment? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, from the framework. Okay, how we use important example Western countries in individual privacy. There are many culture and frameworks in different region too. And then in AI, this could affect how sovereign technology, because it can be threats or may be useful for other nation or maybe other nation. Because hence ethical AI must be considered, or maybe more philosophy, whether there is stem from religion, tradition, or maybe socio-political, historical. It may be like universal code, like UAI or UNESCO AI technique framework can help promote baseline protection from human rights, because without them we can be protection from human rights, transparency, or maybe accountability. However, local realities like economic disparity or legal frameworks means that implementation it needs to be flexible, like hybrid approach, like can work established core universal or maybe principle. It also that AI can make ethical in a low regulation environment. Without oversight, AI can be used anti-bias, like hiring or credit scoring, enable surveillance, or maybe automate unjust system. It can be solid like civil society involvement, or maybe open source and transparent AI tools, or maybe capability building program. Okay, there is my answer. Okay.
Thank you. And we still have two questions again from Kinan. So there be a universal code of AI ethic, or must guideline be tailored to legal, social, and economic context? Thank you.
Okay, there are many questions here, and then there is impact on AI system. Yes. Okay, there's a governance word impact. Okay, word impact. There are many impact. There are many regions like US. Okay, US in very impact is privacy is often treated like consumer protection issue, like this issue. Do you know that Donald Trump is very afraid of China, that AI can make different, like China had make different AI, this a DeepSeek that had people from using knowledge and AI. And then China is also privacy tends to be oriented, but because many products can be produced in China, well, there is data protection law, and then there is government that access data for national interest. Why China is very development? Because China has very database AI and AI system that emphasize security and surveillance, and then it can be generative AI and impact on AI system. And China also make data flow and localization, some that means their border and affected border AI. And then China also differing view for what is consumed and informed consent or legitimate use that make it hard to build truly global AI platform. And then from the second question, when AI make life change decision, okay, I hope there is many ensure that AI is ensure transparency and accountability, because transparency and accountability is help us to make human to be more good. And then there is a system that can create exploitation, and then there is a algorithm that auditable, so system can be allow external review even if proprietary. And then it means that documentation and impact assessment is very clear to provide a clear paper try how to decision are made. It means that we can make our nation or our country is more developed, that our system that is be secure and development, we can be use AI to be a vital for regulatory security. Okay, I think that is my answer.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question from Ms. Paulina. In society with limited regulatory capacity, how can we prevent AI-driven technology from being exacerbating, exciting, inequality, or human rights abuse? Thank you.
Okay, how can we balance the ethical if AI innovation? That's a powerful times question, because the ethical imperative is innovate. AI has a potential to save lives and optimize response during crisis like pandemics through predictive modeling, or maybe resource allocation, or maybe diagnostic monitoring. And it also in low countries with health system are already set, AI can amplify capacity, but if only if used responsibility, because AI can share their knowledge. And there is a risk that unintended harm in low resource setting. When AI is deployed hardly without local input, it can cause more harm than good. So it means we can need data bias, data digital exclusion, over surveillance and dependency. And then from the strategies is also we can make balance innovation in ethics with AI, because with AI we can make embedded values like fairness, explainability to privacy to AI risk life cycle. And then It also ensures emergency AI measures are time limited and subject to review and dismantling when the crisis ends. It means that establish independent oversight body, even when community-based to monitor outcomes. And then I hope that is my answer. Okay. Is there any other question? Maybe.
I guess no one else is speaking again. Thank you so much for your
Okay.
answer.
You are welcome.
Okay, thank you. And we have a question from Mr. Nidhishvaran. Good morning, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have three questions, sir, from participant. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear me clearly?
I can.
Yeah. Yeah, for first question from Mr. Haidar. How do varying definition of privacy around the world impact of the design and governance of AI system that process personal data? Thank you.
Sorry, can you repeat the term again?
Yeah. How do how do varying definition of privacy around the world impact the design and governance of AI system that process personal data?
Yeah, but we are all feeding our data without thinking for a while, right? We have discussed it about it already, but there the concern rise about the AI. We are all feeding it without thinking for a while, but the AI are being trained with the data that we fed without our consent. It will results in some kind of privacy issues, right? Yeah, that's it. We are all feeding it, but the mistake is from our side only.
Thank you. And then two question again. When AI is used in high-stake areas such as criminal justice or healthcare, how can we ensure transparency and accountability across jurisdictions with different legal tradition? Thank you.
Yeah, but in the jurisdiction, we are not allowed to use AI without a human consent, right? That's why the countries like China, US, and UKs are using manpower for its final decision. Even though AI will manage the case from its beginning until it will maintain in a flow, but we'll use justice at the end of the case for the final decision. The final decision needed to be made by the justice. That's it. Like that, if we fully depends upon the AI without our manpower, it will end in some kind of serious concerns, which we can't able to imagine about it. It will be something like AI will lead to some kind of disaster in the future.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question from Mr. Maher. How can we balance the ethical imperative of AI innovation with the risks of unpaid harms, especially in low research country? Thank you.
Yeah, but still AIs are needed for each and every countries for its domestic and political growth. While it's not good to completely depends upon the AI, that's the problem. We can easily balance with the AIs because we have a lot of trained models are available in Google. We can just download the model or we just train it by using some kind of images which in means of data or something else. But that's it. We should train it. It doesn't fully related to its economical status of a country or its financial things. It will be possible even at some kind of poor countries or something else.
Okay, thank you. I guess no one else asking again. Thank you so much for answers. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so
Thank you, thank
much.
you, thank you for this valuable opportunity, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will go to the last speaker for Dr. Sumathi. You can start this presentation today. Thank you. Hello, ma'am. Okay. Bagi Bapak Ibu dan para peserta, mohon bagi 22 menit karena speaker hari ini ada sedikit kendala.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah,
Can you able to hear me?
yeah, good.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, sir. PPT is visible, ma'am?
Yes, everything is perfect.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Dr. Sumathi, Professor, Department of Information Technology from St.Joseph College of Engineering. Ma'am, my topic is today is nothing but algorithmic accountability. Can we trust AI to be fair? Why I chosen this topic is nothing but wherever we go, we are using AI. So in this condition, this particular topic is very important. So why does this matter? So here, I told this wherever we go, algorithms matters nothing, but wherever we go, we are using AI. So in this AI, we are only using algorithm. So here, algorithm only decide so whether we are going to make a decision in a perfect way that impacts our lives. It is nothing but it is used, AI is using global worldwide. So here AI affects the people worldwide. Next, third thing is nothing but here fairness and accountability are very essential whenever this algorithm is going to decide our life. which will impact our life. Next one. So where the role of algorithm comes in decision making. Here we are using data. The data has been collected. The data collected is nothing but raw information. Then whatever the raw information is collected will be processed. So the processing is not due to the any of the person. The decision is taken out, but how the decision is taken out is nothing known to any person using this particular thing. Here, this particular thing can be used in a for loan hirings or then for example, inter side and facial recognition. So these are the examples where we are using a simple example where you are using this AI. So this, whenever you're going to take a decision, this algorithm plays a vital role in decision making. So even though the algorithm decide the algorithm decide our this decision. So where does this failure comes? So here in real-time example, we have here known as a compass. In a compass, it is nothing but correctional offender management profiling for alternate sanction. So it is used by the government, by the lawyers, and then policemen. What is the use of this particular real-time operating? Real-time this thing is nothing but not to make a judge a person whether it's high risk person or it is a low risk person. So this particular thing doesn't perfect fair. So it is given unfair judgment to the black people. That is, the black defendants are given as a high risk. So how it is performing is nothing but they will be having 137 questions. From the 137 questions, all the thing will be answered. Based upon a thing only, it is going to decide whether it is a high risk or low risk. So here, he decided the black person is an at a higher risk. Second example is nothing but Amazon hiring. So in an Amazon, they use this particular tool, AI tool for an hiring. So in this thing, AI tool has been discriminated against women. Why it is discriminated? But in a previous days, the men are only the working person and the women are not working person. So in this case, it is nothing but it is discriminated against a woman. So the no woman has been selected in the later stages at all. The third example is nothing but facial recognition. There will be higher error rates for a darker skin tone. When compared to white skin, it has been decided that there is a higher error rates in a darker skin. So these are the real world example where the algorithm got failed. So here compass is not used and Amazon hiring is not done by AI. Then facial recognition also there is some failures. So how it can be rectified? So it can be rectified by use of the equal treatment. That is same rules for everyone. Otherwise, we should be, for example, if we're going to train a model means the equally trained from the men and a woman. So there should be one geographic relationship. That is geographically it should be balanced. Second, it's nothing but inequitable outcomes. How it is equitable outcome is nothing but we should not here if we are going to consider any historical rules and regulations, there will be some faults. So there should be, we should not cover this particular things and we have an equitable outcomes. Third one, the model can be biased. Whenever we perform a model training, the model can be biased. So then fourth is nothing but during collection of data also there can be bias. So we have to define an algorithm fairness to avoid this particular thing. That is, we should treat everyone as equal, every data should be equal, and we should avoid the historical disadvantage. Then we should have and the data should be cut such a way that it should not be skewed result. It should be a normal distribution. Next one. So how we are going to make this AI accountable? Even though there are any rules and regulations, how we are going to make the AI accountable? So how we are going to make the AI accountable is nothing but we are going to follow some explainable AI. What is explainable AI? So when the model is performed, we know we are going to give the outputs and we are getting the outputs. We are going to give the inputs and we are getting outputs. Then how the output comes? This should be known to the users or the programmers who are using it. So how that is where the decision can be made. That is called as a explainable. This is the first thing. Second thing, the model cards can be given. What is called as model cards? Whenever going to buy a product means there will be some expiry date or a manufacturing date like this. So whenever we are going to train a model, means the model should have some documentation, how the model is going to perform, what is the transparency, what is the bias. Like this, we should know about each and everything. That is called as a model cards. Then we should have some auditing tools. What is called as auditing tools? We have to measure the how the fairness is there and how the bias is there. So fast that we should have some auditing tools. So here three things can be done. First thing is called as we can have an explainable AI, how we can understand the how decisions are made. Second thing is nothing but model cards, documentation of intent, that is called as how the model is performing, what is an accuracy, what is the transparency, what is the bias, what is the data. Like that, we have to have some understanding is called as the model cards. Third thing is as we can have an auditing tools. Next, where this used. So where here we can give some real-time example where these things are done. So yesterday is nothing but we have a Microsoft Responsible AI dashboard. So here we have the dashboard where we can see the analytics, how the fairness tool work for an healthcare industry. But so since the healthcare, we cannot tell a person, for example, you cannot tell a person who doesn't have a cancer is having cancer. So that should be purely fairness. So here we can have a Microsoft Responsible AI dashboard, which combines a fairness tool for an healthcare equity. Second is an Google model cards. So I told this model cards. So here Google has having a model card, that is all the performance metrics are done by a demographic subgroups. Third is nothing but we can have auditing system. So these are the real world scenario where real world thing it is where it is used. So here I told the explainable is Microsoft is doing responsibly a dashboard. Then I told model cards. The Google is having Google model cards. Then we have some auditing scheme to measure each and everything. Next, how it is done. What is the procedure done in the particular thing? Now, I'm going to give some real-time demonstration where we are going to select the data sets, model training, fairness testing, and model adjustment. So what type of data I'm going to take? I'm going to take an USA adult income data set. What I'm going to train? I'm going to predict whether the person will get an income above 50K or below 50K. That is the output I am going to get. Third thing is static, but after training this, I'm going to do the comparison against the gender arrays, whether it is biased or it is perfectly trained. Like this, I'm going to test. After testing, if it is biasly trained, means I'm going to adjust the model. So these are the 4 steps we are going to follow. Normally, we're going to train any model, means we have only 3 things: data set collection, model training, and some evaluation parameters. But here, in addition to evaluation parameter like accuracy, I'm going to have some fairness testing parameter. Then I'm going to have some model adjustment. So these are the 4 steps we are going to follow. So I will show the demonstration. At the end, I will show the demonstration. We'll come to the end and I'll show. Since I have to share the screen and I have to move to the new screen. Next one. How it is world responding. We are telling this fairness should be followed. We should telling us responsibility should be followed. So how the world works, how the world is responding. So here everywhere we have some acts or measures taken to overcome this one. So here EU AI Act categorizes what is AI risk and enforces the transparency. Second is nothing but UNESCO has issued some ethics guidelines. So what are things the AI should do and what are things the AI should not do. Third thing is nothing but in India, Niti Aayog has drafted some responsible AI principles. And the last thing, some standard bodies like IEEE are defining global best practices. So this is the way the world is responding. So here, so normally how this world is responding to, so how it is followed in a company. In a company, they are following this particular rules and regulation and following guardrails how the AI should be working, how the AI should not be working. That is that in every project where they're using AI means there should be some guardrails limit. So this so only this ChatGPT is answering. This particular question is nothing, but it cannot be answered by me like this, giving some real-time answer. Because of the guardrails only, this is giving some answers. Next one. So what can we do? not to reduce the bias, what we can do necessarily, but we can build a diverse team. That is, we can able to build, for example, in the diverse team can be built. They can think in such a way that in a multi-perspective way, in a different way, they can able to build, and they can collect the data in a different manner. That is in a different perspective. Second thing, nothing but audit should be done regularly. In a college or a university, normally the NP audit, others NAC accreditation will be done. So like this, we can do audit regularly, whether the algorithm is performing better. Why is regularly done is nothing but here we are using the data will be continuously integrated and continuously deployed. Whenever data is continuously integrated and continuously deployed, there can be a mistake in some places. There can be a mistake in some particular places. So it should be audited regularly. Third thing is nothing but we have to promote the AI literacy along all the peoples. So education enables accountability. This is a way we can able to build an accountable system, whether the person is doing an AI in a fairness manner. Next one. How can we trust AI to be fair? So here vigilantly it should be tested. Then here accountability enables the trust. That is that we are going to make it as accountable whether it is performing in a better way. Shall I show the demonstration? Stop the share and I'll share the another one screen.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
One second, I will share another one screen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is the code I have to. I think I'm visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. I told here I took the UCA income datasets. So here, first of all, I have to install basic libraries like this, scikit-learn, matplotlib, pandas. This is normally basic feature will be included. So in addition to this one, I'm going to check whether it is fairly done. It is otherwise biased. So I'm installing the Fairlearn also. So these are the package I'm installing: Fairlearn, scikit-learn, matplotlib, and pandas. Next one. After installing, I'm importing all the things. So import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, Then I'm going to use already inbuilt data sets. So here, where the data set is nothing but sklearn, the data sets, import, fetch underscore ML. So here in sklearn, the data set is available. The data set, I'm not going to load anything. It is automatically present in an sklearn data set. And before model selection, I'm going to divide the data set into train and test. So here model selection, train, test, fetch. Then what type of algorithms here I'm for execution purpose, I'm implementing only a basic algorithm that is called as logical regression. Then additionally, I'm going to calculate accuracy. Then whenever there is a label, I'm going to use some label encoder. Then I'm going to have a metric, how we are going to measure the metric. Then I'm going to modify the fairness. So how I'm going to modify something, but I'm going to use an algorithm called as exponential gradient. How it is going to modify the manner, what type of thing is going to follow is it's going to have a demographic parities like sex. Next, here I'm going to plot the thing with the help of a match of this. So these are the import statement I have done. So this particular thing I have done using a Colab environment. Next one. So here in the data, I'm going to fetch the data. I told whether from where we're going to fetch. I'm going to fetch the data from an fetch OpenML. It is present in the sklearn data. So what data I'm going to fetch is nothing but I'm going to fetch an adult income data set. Then I'm going to put this in a frame. So in this, what is the target is nothing but income. What is why it is target the income? I'm going to decide predict whether the person will get done less than $50 or the greater than $50. So income is our target. So target normally it can be it should be in this normally when I'm going to use CSV file means each and everything should be in a form of a numeric data set. So here income I'm going to modify as a label encode either as a 0 or as a 1. I'm going to encode the income data set, income field as an either as a 0 or a 1. So further I'm using a label encoder. And then afterwards I'm having an X data and a Y data. Other than income, other things are present in X data, X table, and other only one particular thing is present in Y. So here the data set should be splitted. I'm going to split the data set into an 80% and a 20%. So test size is nothing but 0.2. So it means that the data set has been divided as an 80% and then 20%. Then I'm going to run the logistic regression model. So here model is nothing but it is used for an predict classification. So I'm used a logistic regression model. So model equal to logistic regression, max iteration equal to 1000. Then I'm going to fit the model and I'm going to predict the model. So this is normally normal ways when I'm going to do any classification. These are the things we'll be doing. These are things we'll be doing when I'm going to do any classification. Next, in addition to this one, I'm going to find out what are the sensitive features. Here I'm going to take the sensitive features in sex and race. There are many type of race present in the UK the data set. So based upon the race and based upon the sex, I'm going to find out the sensitive features. I'm going to find out the fact. So this is a method used to find out whether it is how it is fair or how it is biased like this. So here metric fair is a function, metric frame is a function. I'm going to measure the accuracy. What type of accuracy? So with the help of prediction only I'm going to find out accuracy. What type of feature I'm going to use nothing but only I'm going to have an sensitive features. So normally it will work for an and the accuracy can be normal. If you're going to calculate accuracy separately means it will be 70%, 80%, 90%. But here if I'm going to use this particular feature and I'm going to divide means the accuracy can be 70% for male. It can be 50% for female. That means that it is working 70% accuracy for a male person and a 50% accurate for the female person. That is, there is a bias in the data. There is bias in the data or bias in the model. It should be rectified. Next one. So before mitigation, I'm going to group the data, the metric frame by the group. You can see this one. So this is the output here. It is done by a group. So hence it is overfitted. It shows us race, the race black, or race other, or race white. In this male, in this how the sex male and female. Like this you are going to it. So these are the classes. Depending upon these particular things, it has been grouped. So race is false, and race black is false, means race other is false, and race white is false, and a sex is false, means male is a female person, means the accuracy is 1. Is a male person, means accuracy is 1. 6 is overfitted. The answer is wrong, but this is a way that will be the fairness matrix will be divided based upon the sex and race. So whenever we find whether there is no fairness, we have to we have to make the thing as a fair. So we are going to use some algorithm. So see here. So this is algorithm I'm using. I'm going to use an exponential gradient algorithm with the help of demographic parity. It is going to decide automatically demographic parity. Demographic is nothing but what is the religion we are following, what is the race we are following, what is this, he is a male or female. Like these are the demographic features. So with the help of demographic features, so we are going to check only whether there is a fairness, bias in this particular demographic features. So only we are taken only the race and the sex. So in this particular feature alone, we are going to we are going to balance the feature. That is, we are going to reduce the bias and make it as a fairness. So for this only, I'm going to use this particular algorithm. I'm using an to make the model as a fair, I'm using exponential gradient model. And what are the features I'm going to take is nothing but I am taking an demographic parity. So with the help of this, the same algorithm logistic regression I'm using. So even though I'm using same logistic regression, so when I'm going to use this particular thing means automatically the bias will be reduced and there will be fairness will be implemented. So I'm going to model fit and this once again I'm measuring the fairness code. So this is the way by which I'm able to, this is a tool I told us, we can able to measure the fairness with the help of this fairness model. So we summarize this one. Since AI has been used everywhere, the fairness should be uh, we have to implement the fairness in algorithm. The fairness can be done with the help of an explainable AI or the help of this model cards. Whether in explainable AI only what is explainable AI is nothing, but we can able to understand how the model is performed. But it does not mean that there is a fairness. It shows how the model is performed, whether it is performing correctly, in what features. For example, if a person is detected with the sugar, or person is detected with a heart attack, means which feature respond to the particular heart attack, or which feature makes the person to become as a heart attack person. That is the thing that can be known by the explainable. But if we're going to have some fairness, that is parallel algorithm means we can able to identify where the bias is, what are the feature responding to what are the features make the model as a bias, as a data, or it is the model we are using. For example, log distribution or a data we have collected, this makes us a bias. Then we can able to overcome this particular thing with the help of this algorithm called as fair model algorithm. There are many type of algorithm. I have chosen only one particular thing is called as fair model algorithm. So with this, we can come to the conclusion that when we're going to implement any AI algorithm, we have to check for the fairness and we have to show the explainability that makes the normal person who are building the project responsible person. So again, I'm open to any questions.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 3 questions, Miss, from participants.
Okay. I can see.
Yeah, for first question from Mr. Revan. Looking ahead, how can emerging economy participate in shaping global AI ethics discourse to ensure the voice and value are represented? Thank you.
Okay. How can emerging economics participate in shaping global ethics? Discourse, discourse to ensure the voices and values are presented. I told previously, many governments, UK governments, and an UNESCO and IEEE are all leveling some rules and regulations so that the AI can be made as an ethical one or a fairness one. And normally, each and every company, when you're going to implement any any model, they're going to deploy some anything in the for a normal client means they should have some guardrails that the AI should perform this particular thing or it should not be perform this particular thing. There should be some rules and regulations. That is called as guardrails. It should be levied by things. This thing can be checked by the government or anything. This is the first answer for the first question. Second question.
Yeah, and then the next question from Mr. Cello.
I can
Yeah,
okay.
Cello and
I can
Jersey.
I can take. Could differing geopolitical interests lead to ethics colonialism, where powerful nations impose their ethical standards on others? Could differing geopolitical interests lead to ethics colonialism, where powerful nations impose their ethical standards on others? This is nothing but so even though they impose any rules and regulations, but when you're coming to the normal person means it should follow some standard rules. Because, for example, the UK government can't rules and different rules. Our US government can't release different rules. This particular rules and regulation can be adapted to their own country. If a particular software has been used by any different countries, for example, if the US government is building a software and India government is going to use a particular thing, means they should follow the common rules levied by the each and everything. They should not have only US government rules or an UK government rules. Third thing, when AI models are trained on large-scale data scrapped from internet, who bears an ethical and legal responsibility for copyrighted or personal content? Okay. The company is only responsible. You can hear the news that OpenAI has been levied some there has been case against the OpenAI since all the data used by them has been shared in the internet. So the government is going to look after this, and the company is responsible for each and everything they are doing. Company is only responsible for using the copyrighted or the personal content. They should not use the personal content. If they're using it, they are only responsible. They will be levied some cases against them that should be banned like this. So when this you have certain news that OpenAI has been give this face this particular problems. That's it from my side.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. I guess no one else asking again, Miss. Before I participant, our participant, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 1, 2. Thank you for your participation. Finally, we come to the end of the webinar today. We would like to thank you for hosting for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope more collaboration in the future. The webinar for today and here. We will see you soon. Thank you.